Una remember that advice what I give, say, who lose the election in today's present Nigeria? Say, make the person know but I say if they go court too. Why? Because the ruling party don't saturate everywhere. They are in charge of the courts. They are in charge of INEC. So whichever way you want do them, say you want go court, you go enter that court. INEC go to defend what do they call them? Court. Court go to defend INEC. And there two go to defend the ruling party, APC. So no bother say you dey enter court. Person don't listen to that advice. Dino Melaye, the governorship candidate of the PDP inside Kogi State, him don't listen to that advice. He don't come outside talk and say, I know they go court, and here now the reasons why I no go court. If you not hear reasons, try this INEC get mind though. INEC will be say their voters registration ended in November last year, and we saw what the registration is like. Now they are argumenting that registration. You understand? So that even if you enter court, you understand? The one where they don't argument now, we counter your argument in court. Now why the ruling party, who won the election for the ruling party, go comfortably tell you go to court? Because they are in alliance with INEC. You can imagine a local government having 100,000 registered voters as at the last election, which is February 2023. The last election now, of which registration don't end that time. INEC do another registration. Now, for this off-cycle this election, you consider local government will get 100,000 in the last election. It can't they get like 200,000 in this election? How will it take happen? When did they register the new voters? Make I not talk too much because waiting did not get to talk a long, a plenty. And from here, if you don't see my face again, so make I carry you JJ now. Go meet Dino Melaye. So you go hear everything in total by yourself. Then after you hear them now, come comment section, come tell me what you think about the APC, INEC, and your judiciary the money. Come and tell me what you observe about these three people now. I call in the comment section. Indeed, there is a capture of the Nigerian state. Watch Dino Melaye.
And today I will be discussing what I have christened or titled, Why I Will Not Go to Tribunal. That is the heading. And the subheading is INEC and Judiciary, the biggest threat to democracy in Nigeria. INEC and Judiciary, the biggest threat to democracy in Nigeria. Fellow pressmen, in all thriving democracies around the world, the election management body like INEC and the judiciary are its sustaining pillars. The constitutional duty of INEC is to conduct periodic, free, fair, and credible elections and declare the popular will of the people as expressed through the ballot, but at moments, election results are not written and prepared before election day. Sorry, I take that again. The constitutional duty of INEC is to conduct periodic, free, fair, and credible elections and declare popular will of the people as expressed through the ballot. But at the moment, election results are now written and prepared before election day under Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. The judiciary is supposed to be the last line of defense of democracy and the rule of law. But the tragedy today is that the judiciary over the years have not lived up to the expectation fully on matters of electoral justice. Worse still, it has now been captured by APC and it's now the weakest link for the subversion of democracy in Nigeria. What a disgrace and shame to the largest black race of the world. A democracy without a rule of law and a courageous judiciary has in it an inner virus that will lead to its destruction. The common saying that judiciary is the last hope of aggrieved citizens is now an empty slogan because the judiciary is truly now the lost hope of the people of Nigeria.
Imagine a country where its citizens get to enjoy the road without this. Imagine a country where unprecedented fuel scarcity does not cause panic at the filling station. That is why Innocent Vehicles has embarked on manufacturing environmental-friendly gas-powered cars while still offering comfort, luxury, and doggedness for the African roads. Innocent Vehicles, the pride of African roads.
That is why I, Dino, Melaye, will not dignify a captured judiciary that is now a department of APC by filing a petition over Kogi State governorship elections that majority of the results were pre-written before the election day by INEC officials. Under the most corrupt chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the most pernicious, odious vermin that ever presided over election management body in Nigeria. I repeat, Mahmoud Yakubu is the most pernicious, odious vermin that ever presided over the election management body in Nigeria, INEC. Why should any responsible Nigerian go to the tribunal when APC has captured the judiciary and their members, that's APC members, openly boast at rallies about their control of a corrupt judiciary of cash and carry? Why should other political parties and Nigerians participate in future elections with the conclusion of grip and total control of INEC through the appointment of APC card-carrying members as commissioners into INEC, who will recruit ad hoc staff, APC supporters, as pools officials? All recognized individuals of proven integrity from south and northern parts of this country, applauded by Nigerians for their commitment to credible elections as commissioners, have all been eased out of INEC. The way the so-called State Independent Electoral Commission, SIEC, is constituted by governors with party members and supporters is what is happening now. So that means what is happening in SIEC is exactly what is now happening with INEC at the national level. It's constituted by governors with party members and supporters is what is being replicated by this administration with INEC at the federal level. No more elections like local governments, but pure writing of results before elections as done in Kogi and Imo states. A typical example is what I will show you now. This is certified true copies. So when SDP was shouting all over the air that they need INEC and they need the tribunal to give them order for INEC to release documents to them, we got these documents last week. And they are certified true copies by INEC. This is the certified true copy of the Kogi State election on the 11th of November. This is certified true copies of the presidential election in February. What I want to do here is that we have certified true copies of all the documents, including the registered the voters register, all certified by INEC, and these documents are available with us. I want to say that voters registration ended in November last year, 2022. That means from November last year, there is no voter registration. This is certified true copy from INEC of the results of the presidential and National Assembly elections in February this year. As at that time, number of registered voters on this certified true copies showed that in Adabi local government, 114,046 registered voters. Showed that in Ajakuta local government, 84,614. Showed that in Okene local government, 140,452. That's the registered voters at Favour as imputed on this certified true copy of INEC results for the February election. But in the certified true copy for the November election, you will note that registration of voters stopped in November 2022. So what we were given in February 2023 on this certified true INEC document is what I read. But on the same INEC certified results of the 2023 November 11 governorship election, the number changed when voters' registration already ended last year. On the face of this document now, for the November 11th election, you remember I said it was 114,046 for Adavi, but in this document, it's now 114,663 inflated. In Ajakuta local government, for example, in February, voters' registration was 84,614, while in the November election is 96,504, an increase of over 8,000. In Okehi local government, the same thing. In Okene local government, it was 140,452 in February. But in November election, Okene was inflated to 151,242, an inflated number of 110,987, and this was done in 17 local governments. So the question is, if voters' registration ended November last year, and the February results showed the number of registered voters as at February this year, where did the additional figures inflated in November came from? After all, there's been no voters' registration since November last year. Voter registration is a ceremonial thing that parties take very seriously, politicians take very seriously. So whenever it is announced, we normally mobilize our people to go out and participate in registration. The last time such exercise took place was in November 2022. But because they have increased or allocated votes that were beyond the registered voters, so they had to up the registered voters up to justify. If not, the votes will be more than registered voters. That is the kind of corruption, fraud that INEC did. And these are certified true copies of documents from INEC showing disparity between February and November. Meanwhile, there is no voters registration.